Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM 24 Yeti. It's episode 45. We're still finishing up our classics season with Dwar Vlaanderen, aka Baby Flanders. We're not going to be at the senior Flanders race this year. We didn't get an invite. No surprise with that one, as it's one of the monuments, and we're just not. We're not going to get monument invites. We're lucky to get any invites at all. The few that we've picked up so far out of about 13 opportunities now is a better rate than what I expected, or at least the top end of the rate that I expected. So as we go through our most undulating period here, the road's skiddy, but with a small established breakaway of 4 riders at just under 4 minutes ahead, things are pretty comfortable at the moment. Now, in terms of our preparation for the day, I did make this one of our primary objectives. It's Class B, by the way, the last race, the Saxo Bank. I couldn't remember whether it was an A or a B or a C, and I was so disappointed because we won the sprint, but the breakaway won the race. We were the next highest finisher behind the sprint, behind the break, and it was Class A. It would have been a Pop 5 victory if that breakaway had been reeled in. So that's sad. But let's focus on this race now, as so far hasn't been much of a challenge for us, but there's still 4 cobbled sectors to come. There's still a little more undulation along the way, but with this being a primary objective for a lot of the riders, they're strong. They're looking good. And the peloton is shrinking. It's yo-yoing for now, coming back together. We've got to get our guys back up into position here. And it's back up to 119. So the yo-yo through there hasn't really amounted to anything. We are down to 58k though. Let's get Derek G, the only one with a negative race day condition, to go get water. It's not by accident that the race day condition is good. There's no positive draw out of any of this. In fact, it's a slight negative on where we should be. Like I said, it was a big objective, and I've got like 4 guys on Fitness Peaks, and all but 1 or 2 have this as an objective. So it's it's expected to be a lot of +1s, +2s, or +4s for most of the team. But with all 3 of our top sprinters here and a +5, a +2, and a 0 for them, we're definitely riding for that group. And Zhu stands a really good chance of being our guy today. But this is a big 4-star sector. It's going to do some damage. You're not very well cobble rated, besides the guy on the 0 race day condition pick roll. But we have held on through there. 76 riders now in the peloton. A small breakaway that has taken off, pulled out a 1-minute advantage. And then, of course, the breakaway itself still being chased down for the time being, but only 1:41 ahead now. It's also time. That's the undulation done. Just about, anyway. No, nothing steep anymore. You got just little rolling hills between here and the finish with these final 33k. And the field largely intact, but chasing those 7 is not going to be the easiest. Some of that 7, though, is breakaway riders that have been dropped off the front. Well, it was only 4. I guess it was 1 guy who dropped back, and now there's that one that's coming back to the peloton. The other 6 caught the 3 breakaway riders at the front, but it's down to 40 seconds, and there's no long cobbled sectors remaining, just 2 short ones. So it's looking pretty dang good, and we've caught him. We have caught him. There's an immediate attack of another group. The yo-yo continues, now 72 chasing, just a few seconds behind those guys. And we're looking pretty good, except for, the whole fatigue factor and the simple fact that there's a lot of attacks right now by your classics kind of guys, your Barradur classics riders that are going for it from far out, not necessarily sprinters. 18k is a little early, but there's a big attack happening right now, and I feel like there's going to be issues. I think there's going to be enough teams involved in this attack. There's 9 guys just attacked. I think there's going to be enough teams that it's going to take a little bit for somebody to come forward to chase it down, and this could be a successful attack. So we do need to respond. Chang, well, Chang's got nothing in the tank. Chang's gonna be kind of following up. I assume Shu's gonna be within 80, 78. We've got to ride for Shu. If he's got anything in the tank, you got to use it. Shaw's not looking great, but a 78, 78. Pickrell, the good cobble rating is the strongest, but not the fastest. Lubers to lead it out, and then of the domestiques, Ponamar is looking the strongest right now. So Derek G, you're up, buddy. We can't ride hard from 18k out with only a couple of early lead out riders, but we've got to get ourselves in position and hope that this thing all comes back together. Those 9 quickly coming together, not good for us. Them attacking each other is great. G's not going to last long, so let's get Ponamar ready with his gel. We're going to catch 7 of them. That's good. That adds the firepower to the chase. The finish line's right there, straight ahead. So you got a big left-hander just before the finish line. And Derek G is done and has brought us forward, so that's good. And let out for 6k. Chang is hanging in there. Let's get Lubers to gel. 11k now. Still chasing those 2, but they're not too far ahead. Here's the final cobbled sector. It's only 3 stars. And it's short. And we are through it. We are through it. Now at 9k. More riders trying to attack. Lescano. Ponamar is done. On to Lubers. 8k. We're going to have to start pushing a little bit harder here. Shaw. Shaw's not the lead out guy. It's got to be Pickrell. It's got to be Pickrell. Shaw does not have enough in the tank. Gel for Shaw. 6k. We are now leading the chase. Well positioned. The 3 riders are not a threat. 5k. Starting to speed up a little bit more. Okay, final gels. Lubers is done. On to Shaw. 99. He's not gonna last. He's not gonna last. Not gonna last. It's so technical through here. 2.5k. Okay, it's only a little early on Pickrell. 1.9k and Pickrell sprinting. Pickrell is sprinting. There's a crash. It's Lubers and Shu. Okay, there's too many fast guys that are going to beat us here. But look at Shu come through. Look at Shu come through to push for a top 10. That's going to be worth some points. Milan, Philipsen, Teutenberg. Shu takes 7th. Takes 7th. Good job from Shu there. I could have started his sprint a hair earlier. But with it being so technical, it holds up that sprint a little bit. It gives you, more chances to do something. We were 24th next with Pickrell, though. That was a very competitive field. A lot of very fast guys. So to crack the top 10 when Wout van Aert only manages to get 13th, when Eekhoff gets 16th, Lescano gets 17th. I mean, Vermeer, 20th. Tons of talent. Tons and tons of talent for the baby Flanders race. And we got a top 10 out of it. I would hope that we could have gotten a second rider or a third rider up there to score more points. I was kind of hoping we could maybe crack the top 5 when we were setting up a really good solid lead out there, but such is the talent that surrounded us, and the swap. The having to swap to Pickrell doing the lead out instead of Shaw. Shaw's got better pace. He would have led out Shu quite a bit better than Pickrell was able, but Shaw didn't have anything left in the tank, and Pickrell was forced to work a little bit earlier than we wanted him to without that support. So still cracking the top 10 is a very solid result. This is our most important race of the entire year. Not for the sake of scoring points, though we certainly could score a decent amount of points today, but for the prospecting, for the signing of a bigger, better sponsorship deal. It's our biggest sponsor objective day of the year. We have 4 classics back to back to back over a 2-week span, and that's it. We had like a month break before, we have a 3-week break before, we have a 3-week break after, and then we just had these 4 races sandwiched in here. So it was pretty easy to pull in a number of objectives. for this period, because we had a couple World Tour races and a couple of objectives, making all 4 races pretty important. We've been successful through the first 3. But this is the biggest one. Now, the objective is just a top 10. But this is one that I'm desperate to get a top 5 on, to get the super success. And so we're really, really gunning for it. And a lot of this team is fitness peaked right now, and nearly all of them are objectives for this particular race. And as we get into this climbing sector and the guys start to slip, but we're trying to conserve energy as best we can here, the team is so strong today. The expectation was plus 18. We've exceeded that. We've really, really lucked out with this draw. It's a plus 25. Plus 25 for the team today. That's an incredible positive draw. One big climb left to come, and then we're going to be setting ourselves up for the final stretch. But I also do have one last time of getting water. Grunland, one guy with the weaker race day condition, and the one guy who's weaker as a climber in the bunch is the definite first domestique. He might not even make it through this climb, but I think we'll be just fine without him. We do have a 10-rider breakaway with a 2-minute advantage. They're not going to be the easiest catch, and there is absolute quality in this field. Premio Roglic is here, and he's not even at the top of the list of favorites. Down to 9 at the front, but it's a near minute and a half advantage. But it's 44K, plenty of time to catch them. Once you get over the top of this, that they should be starting to reel in. But I've got a guy like Zippinati, who's one of our best climbers, and he's not even the protected rider today. I want to see some recovery on this because I want to use the team, especially if 107 riders are still left and there's still 9 riders to chase down. I'd like to make use of the team for that prospect. So I'm happy to see us get some recovery here on this descent, but not recovered all the way, because then you can get some weakness out of others. I think we're going to go pretty early with the strength we have, but you got a little triple climb there at the end, 3 hills. Very much a pudgy stage, without a doubt. But, Hugh Carthy goes down. That's going to rule him out. It's too late for him to get back in contact, you would think. Did he get dropped? We're seeing a big attack right now. Yes, Hugh Carthy is A2. 26K. This is not the climb that I want to make something happen, but let's get up to an 88, where there's a big acceleration right now. And yeah, it's attack and counterattack and response, and all of a sudden now you've got the 9 at the front with a very small advantage. Oh, that's Grunland. Freaking me out there for a second. We were still highlighted on Grunland as he gets dropped. 79 left. Zippinati, you want to break contact? I wouldn't mind if you do. That would leave behind most of the peloton and put us in a very strong position. I won't cheese it, though. Okay, we're inside 20K. We are going to form up here pretty soon, especially when we're still chasing those 9 down. And we're still getting counterattacking moves. Miguel attacking. Okay, who do I want to go first? Montez and then Abdullah. So Montez, now's your time. It's an attack, and it seems like none of these guys... Yeah, Roglic isn't going to be the one chasing. So we're going a couple kilometers early. Just a couple. Montez... You take it over, and Abdullah is chasing. I got that much figured out, and Zippinati was the next guy. And then it's down to Panamar. G, I think, has got to be the leader. He's got 81 on the medium mountain and the hills today. He's got the stamina to go with it. Haglund might actually be doing the work, but what about... Yeah, the stamina's there for all of them. 78, 81. Panamar is a little bit weaker on the medium mountain stuff, on the base climbing. So Panamar, Haglund, and G. So strong. We have got to have a successful day here. It doesn't mean a win, necessarily, and it's a 2-pro race. We've already gotten our fill of wins here. I'm going to try to stack the top 10 with the quality that we have in those guys, and if we can, snatch the win as well, Okay, backing off. Montez, give me a 99, Montez. We don't need to burn these guys out just yet. Just get out front and take control. 13K.
Well, we can see that the pack is increasing.
But there's Haglund. Oh man. I'm gonna put you to the back. Well, there goes Haglund out. Man, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Okay, we're still strong. We are still strong. Montez doing the work for now. Here comes counterattacks. Adrian Roglic, and there you go. Montez is done. Abdullah taking over. This is where the depth is really important. Poor Haglund is out of it. And Abdullah's done. Right as we hit the top, Zipinati's going to take over, push on.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
It would be fantastic if we could split the field off so far to the point that just 37 left, and Haglund's among the 37. Abdullah couldn't get on the back of this thing. Zipinati pushing on. Just 24 left. We have decimated the field. We've absolutely decimated the field. This is the penultimate climb, and it really sets up the last little finishing one. Zipinati's done. Zipinati's done. Haglund's back in position. Man, good on him. Good on him to get back up here. Just 16 left. Final 5K. Haglund loses the wheel a little bit. 14 riders. 13 riders. Haglund's still amongst it. 2K. Ponemar sprinting. Now soft sprinting. And G. Haglund's gotten back in position. But Haglund is toast. G's going to ride on. He's not going to take the win. He's not going to take the win. No, he is. Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? Come on, G. Come on. Get in there, bud. Get in there. Yes! He does hang on. Arietta gets second. Roglic gets third. Adria Blackmore. Haglund's going to still finish well. He's got 10th. He's got 10th. Ponemar gets 13th. So we grab a ton of points. We get the Super Success. We get a frickin' victory here at the Miguel Indurain GP. Fantastic race. Tons of points to pro. Tons of points at least to pro level. The scale obviously is lower, so it's not a huge haul of points. We need to check in on those points. But that is a freaking fantastic ride there. Race day condition being a massive, massive component of that. Haglund, great recovery, all things considered. Getting the puncture on the just above the base of that the steepest, longest climb of the triple set at the very end there. And there's a good amount of descending, so those kilometers go by pretty dang fast. So we lose a rider out of what we had. So him to recover to get 10th, great. Us as a team to recover without his presence to still secure the victory and to get him in 10th and another team member in 13th is one of the best rides we've had. And just looking at the field makes this all the sweeter. Ariana's got an 80 mountain. Roglic still has a 79 medium mountain and hills. Adria 77, Blackmore 78 hills, Storr 76s across the board. Enric Mas 80, 80, 78. Albanese's got a 77, Punchy 78 for Miguel. Balderstone has an 82 mountain. Jeez, where the hell did this guy come from? That's insane. 5-star rating. Carrascosa, that's a decent rider. Not dissimilar to what Haglund is as a climber, or Derek G is. Ponemar is definitely weaker, but Sebra is a similar rider. Fernandez, 78 hills. Cepeda, similar rider. Castrillo, similar. Talent, all over the place. Aaron Burrow, similar rider. And we beat multiple guys with 80 pluses or 79s or 78s. Heck of a ride. So I lied, it wasn't our biggest objective of the year. Apparently it was only 3 stars because, 2 pro or whatever. I didn't make it challenging enough. I thought it was rated higher than 3 stars, but okay, fine. I set up a ton of objectives for the year to raise the profile. Here's the thing. Quebeca, next hash, and Friuli combo as a sponsor want to be World Tour sponsors. We're a Continental Pro team, and so there is no opportunity to really put forth anything that's going to make them particularly happy. A couple week World Tour races, and they're just like, okay. So this is not a sponsor we're going to get up to an 80 or a 90 or anything like that. We can't afford to make mistakes. Eschborn Frankfurt, our next one, that's going to be our biggest objective of the year at the beginning of May. Fortunately for me, it's a race that's very flat. So it's pretty dang easy to game the system and do well enough to get there. However, there's going to be tons of sprinters there, as it's one of their easiest, pure sprinter days. Zhu, it's his day, and we need him to be successful. We need to crack that top 10. That's going to be the bigger one. Getting our super success is nice, but it's only done so much for to boost things, and right now our ratings are still pretty dang low. But in the world of prospecting, we have contact in 3 different directions, and we're still only making so much in ways with potential sponsors that are here. Decent names sponsor wise, in terms of World Tour or former World Tour sponsors that could be trying to make their way back in to play. That certainly could help us out with the finances. And again, I'm still not at all concerned about what nations that they're looking out for. That is part of what makes it a little bit harder for us to have a high number with them. But so far there have been no sponsors that have come along from these smaller nations that we have in the pool. So there hasn't been options there where we could have the riders that will make them happy. So at this point, I'm not worried about signing that, because we don't have it as it is. So we're not losing something by signing sponsors from nations that we don't have access to. If something comes along eventually that does have that, then we have something to gain from that. But right now we don't have anything to lose by doing what we're doing. Anyway, no formal offers in yet, and at this point I don't think it would be particularly high. Apparently we haven't drawn that much attention yet as a Continental Pro team. We've got a long ways to go to have them be thrilled, visibility wise, to what we're doing. And I think right now the problem being that we've got a pretty barren calendar over this stretch. It's going to get busier, and the offers that come over that stretch are going to be the ones we're going to be watching out for. Not quite done scouting him just yet, but for the first time in 4 years of doing this, we've actually scouted a prospect with some serious potential. Christopher Young. Let's see, how are they counting these? Is that May? Is he going to turn 18 in May? Or did he turn 17 in February? That is going to be hugely important to this one. We'll see in a month if he turns 18 and joins the list. If he's 18, he's going to be eligible to sign. If he turns 17 in February, then we're talking about the opposite issue, and he won't be available till next year, if he's even still in the database at that point, as they often are not. 5.5-star sprinter prospect. We don't have the full web just yet. He's not much of anything right now with a 65 sprint, 67 acceleration at this stage, 59 flat at this stage. He's far from being a strong rider, but a huge prospect that I'd be thrilled to have. And we'll finish scouting him one way or the other, and hope that he becomes available to us this coming year. So after the 4 classics races, we've been able to recover some ground. We were in the top 5 of the rankings, then we went 3.5 weeks without a race and fell out of the top 10 and fell behind quite a few Continental teams. Then we've had these 4 races and we've come back up. But now we enter a period where we've still got almost 3 weeks, and it's been a week now since that last race, but we still got nearly 3 weeks until our next race comes up on the calendar. So we're going through a second dark period where we've got time off, and it is going to see us fall back down the rankings. For the moment, though, we're doing exactly what we need to do with Archaea as the only Continental Pro team ahead of us. Of course, there's another thing that can happen. For example, I've seen Astana fall out of World Tour so many times in series in recent years. If they drop to Continental Pro, but they finish this season ahead of me, they will be considered at the top of those rankings if they are ahead of us. So we've got to watch out for that. It's the teams that will make up next year's Continental Pro. The top 2 are those guaranteed get whatever you want teams. The third place one might get classics that they want. Either way, top 3 at least gives you a lot of leeway in getting a lot more races on the calendar that following year. And once that happens, remaining established is super easy because all those extra races will accumulate those extra points that you need to stay there. Doing it now when you have a limited calendar is the challenge. So we could be a Continental Pro team for many years and do almost every World Tour race that there is if you can crack that top 3, but especially the top 2. Right now, we're in that position. We had dropped to 10th. We're back up to 8th, and that's just over the last couple of races. But it's still close. Intermarché is only just over 200 points behind us. The good news, though, is there is definitely a bit of a drop-off after Intermarché. Caja Rural, just 2,300. Samruk Kazina, Israeli team, at 2,200. Amazingly, Total Energies and Cofidis, 1,400. They are not scoring much. I mean, there's a Continental team just a few points behind them. Tudor, traditionally strong team, is only 1,300. So we're looking pretty dang good competition-wise amongst Continental Pro. And amazingly, right, there's hardly any World Tour teams above us. It's not like we're in 17th and second in Continental Pro. That would be pretty normal. This stage, very much not so. The Continental Pro teams are dominating a lot of the World Tour races at this stage. You know, there's five of us in the top 15. Decathlon, AG2R is 18th. Bahrain victorious, EF, right, DSM, very good, very strong teams, well behind in the points right now. That is going to do it for this episode, though. We're going to move into that later phase of April. We're going to see that ranking drop, and we're going to have to start climbing back on up here in a few weeks. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.